Hello, honeybees. Welcome back to Illinois Honeycomb Homestead. Today, yes, as you can see on that title, we are going to make some spaghetti sauce and can it up so we can have our own spaghetti sauce to keep from going to the store. Just like that. Just like that. So, as you looked at the title, I am going to make my own spaghetti sauce recipe, okay? What I put in my spaghetti sauce, okay? And I'm gonna be using the store-bought tomatoes because mine are not ready. They're not ready yet, but they will be, and I'll be able to use them. And if they're still not here and I don't have no more tomato cans in the house, I'm gonna hit that farmer's market, okay? So I am gonna use the cans that I have to make my own spaghetti sauce and the vegetables that I have on hand, okay? And if you're ready, let's get to it. As we all know, everybody got their own ingredients and when making their own sauce. So this is what I put in my sauce. Is all kind of type of vegetables in it. And it's make it real thick. It makes it really good and rich. And I love it. And everybody that's had my spaghetti sauce love it as well. And they be trying to figure out what I'll put in it. So now that you're watching this video, you're gonna know what I put in there. So things that you say you don't like is in here. So first thing I have is some squash, and I have me some zucchini, and I have me some onions. As you can see, this was the bag of onions that I had. That's why they marked it down. Crazy to death. So that's more onion. I got some onion tops, and I got a full onion as well. And I got a couple of them like that. So I got 4 onions, 2 of the squashes, and 2 zucchinis, and I have 5 bell peppers, and I also have some mushrooms. Okay? And let's get to it. Before we go any further, I just want to let y'all know, wash your vegetables, okay? We do not want no dirty spaghetti sauce. Wash it, wash it, wash it. And if it got any spots on it, cut it off and then use it, okay? Just as simple, just as simple. And also, I wanted to say, I didn't show this in the harvest, but I will be getting some more of my harvest because the others ain't ready, but I got some garlic, y'all. Look at this garlic. Okay, enough. Let's keep going. Okay, so now that you've seen that I had cut up all the vegetables and everything, I'm going to use my processor and break it down a little bit more. What I didn't cut, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Not real small, but smaller. So that way I can have some chunks in it. Spaghetti sauce is not spaghetti sauce unless you have chunk. Now that I got everything good and chopped up, as you can see, and it smells good, y'all. It smells really good in here. So now that I got all that stuff is chopped up the way I want it to be, I'm going to take you into the kitchen now. So that way we can go on to the next step. Okay, y'all. So now that I'm in the kitchen, I'm going to show you the cans that I have that I'm going to make my spaghetti sauce with. Okay, so I have 2 of these 28 ounce of tomatoes, and they're the diced tomatoes. So I got 2 cans of those. Okay, and then I also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cans. 2, 4, 6. 7 cans, my bad. 7 cans of the 14.5 ounce cans of the diced tomatoes. And then I have the number 10 can of the diced tomatoes. And also I have a 10-ounce can of the tomato paste. Yes, I didn't want the sauce. I wanted the paste so I can make it thicker accordingly, right? And I don't want no runny sauce. So that way it has the good thickener in it from the tomatoes, and also it tastes even better. It enhances the flavor with this tomato paste. The flavor is just awesome. I like that. I don't want no runny sauce. None of that. So I'm going to open up all these cans, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to put it in, okay? Now I got all those canned tomatoes in the slow cooker, okay? Now that I got that all in, I'm going to take you over here to the stove and show you what I'm going to do with those vegetables that I had gotten together, cut up and everything. And I'm going to show you how I cook that, you know, like saute it a little bit, get the stuff good and cooked down a little bit. And then we're going to transport that over here along with the tomato paste. But we're going to let this cook. And I'm going to put this in on, I'm going to put it on 250. And I'm going to let this go ahead and get warm so that way we can go ahead and get started over here on the stove. Okay, so now that we're over here at the stove, this is what I do. I take this and put this on medium low. I get a stick of butter. People use oil and, you know, olive oil or vegetable oil. I use butter. I get a stick of butter and I let this melt down, okay? When I get it melt down, just about halfway in, then I'm going to take my vegetables that I have right here and I'm going to put it in along with the mushrooms, as you can see. So we'll get back when this gets down to where I want it to be, and then we'll continue. Okay, y'all, so now that the butter is good and melted and everything in here, we're going to start taking and working our vegetables in. And we're going to turn the heat up just a little bit, because we don't want it to scorch. We still want to have these beautiful flavors and these beautiful colors in here. Okay, just about got it all in here. Y'all, you know I'm not going to waste nothing. I'm going to scrape this whole bowl out. Okay, we're going to get that in there and get it good incorporated with this butter. That way it's all getting that flavor in it. This smells so good, y'all. So good. And look at how vibrant these colors are. With the squash. You see that yellow? If you're a Green Bay Packer fan, look at them colors. Yellow and green. Okay. I know that was extra, but yes, yellow and green. Green Bay. Okay. So we're going to let that sit off in there. And get that temperature rising. And now we're going to add the mushrooms. And this too, we're going to make sure we mix that pretty good in here as well. Because we want everything to pretty much cook evenly. In case you're wondering how many cans of mushrooms, if you have a big can of mushrooms, then 1.5 of those cans will work. But since I only had 3, that will work as well too. And those were the small ones. Okay, now that it's all good inside and mixed, it's getting ready to work its way up right in here. And I'll bring you back after it has cooked down just a little bit, because we're going to try to get it to sweat. Now, you know, vegetables, bell peppers, all that. Bell peppers, the squash, the zucchini, the mushrooms, they all carry water. They hold water. So it's going to make its own juice. And it's going to go in with the butter. Okay? And I have it up on medium, high. Okay? And I'm going to be stirring it occasionally, so that way it won't brown or stick on the bottom. What we're trying to do is trying to get it where it's all going to be kind of translucent, but still have this color, and it's going to be soft, so that way it can go in with my sauce. Okay, and I'll bring you back after I show you what it looks like, for us to be able to transport it over to the other side. And I'm going to take you over there with me over there so you can see what's going on over there. Okay, y'all. So remember, I put this on 250. The reason why I put it on 250, because I start off at a low temperature, so that way I can get everything evenly heated. Evenly, so I can move everything around evenly. Now, also to remind you, when you have a can of anything, pour that water out. Pour that water out, because tomatoes are going to make its own juice. I do not need that water. We don't know how long that water been sitting inside of that can, because we're getting ready to can this stuff up, and we're going to start the process all over again with the citrus and all that stuff that came in the can when it needed to be canned from the grocery store. Now that we're at home, we're going to dump all that water out. So when I dump that water out, y'all, this is the juice that has been making for me from the tomatoes. Okay? If you can see. And it's going to break down even more so. I'm not putting the tomato paste in just yet, because I want everything to kind of even itself out. And as it's evening itself out, is making the sauce. Not the sauce you get from the store. Its own sauce from those tomatoes. That's what you want. That juice. That good richness juice from the tomatoes, because that's where the thickness is going to be. It's not peeled, because it's going to make its own thickener with the skin. Now, some people go ahead and peel it. I'm not peeling no tomatoes. That's what brings that thickness to your tomato sauce. Okay? I like thickness. That's what I like. Thickness. So I got it on 250, And I'm just going to continue on making sure that it's going to be even with the heat. Okay? And I'm going to take you back over to the other side so that way you can see what it's looking like. Okay, y'all, so do you remember when I was sitting here telling you that all these vegetables hold water? When I say it sweats and it holds water, here's all that water right here. This got nothing, let me see. This got nothing but flavor. Nothing but flavor from all these vegetables. That's nothing but flavor. And don't forget about the butter I put in there. Okay? It's going to get nothing but that flavor. That goodness. Okay? And it's cooking just a little bit. And we're going to keep stirring this, okay? And I'll bring you back when I get to where I need it to be. Okay, y'all. So we're back over here with the tomatoes. Now that it's been on 250 and the temperature has came up on it and it's even, we're going to move it up a notch now. It's time for me to move my stuff up a notch. So we're going to move it up to 300. Yep, I said 300. Okay? It's a piece. Didn't get. Okay? Now I'm moving it up to 300. And it's going to start boiling and everything. And then I'm going to show you the vegetables over there at the stove so you can have an idea what I'm talking about, because we're getting ready to move it over here. But before we move it over here, I'm going to add the tomato paste. And we're going to do like half and half. What I mean by that, okay, I do it like this. I take some of it that's on the stove and put it on the top. Okay? Put it over on the top. Then I stir it in. Then I turn around and get my tomato paste and I'll put that over the top as well. Then after I get that done, then I go and get the other half and put that on top of that tomato paste, if that makes any sense. And then so forth and so on. And that way I can have an even set. You know what I'm saying? Everything is in there evenly. Okay. I'm going to take you over there to the other side so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm over here. I'm going to turn the eye off. There's water that's sitting up here at the very top. I wanted that water to come right here at the line of all these vegetables. Okay? That water came from those vegetables and the butter is sitting right on top. Right on top. And I still got all my color. Okay? Now I'm going to take it over there to the other side so you can see what I was talking about. And remember, you can set it up and do it however you want to. This is how I make my sauce. Okay? This is how I make my sauce because I can taste all the flavors. Nobody putting all that sugar in there. I want to taste everything that I put in here. Everything. Okay? So we're going to go back over to the other side. Okay, now we're back over here with the tomatoes. It's thickening. And it don't take long for it to thicken in its own juices. Okay? So we're going to break this process down just a little bit. The tomatoes that are in here, they're big chunks and everything. But we're going to break it down just a little bit. I might going to hit it about once or twice just to break it up, still have those nice little chunks to it. So if you got one of these little things right here, it's going to work wonders. If not, before you put it in your cooker or whatever, use your processor. But I'm not going to use my processor for that. I want to use this because it does better than the processor to me. It does better. So we're going to plug this in. Set this over here on this kitchen towel. And we're going to, not parade it, but we're going to get it ready. You know, I'll show you. I'll show you. So this is what we're going to do. And then I'll explain what I've done. Because it's hard to talk and tell you at the same time. So just stay tuned. So now that we got this on here, I turned the temperature back down to 250 because I wanted it to be kind of hotter than what it was. Okay, as you can see how those tomatoes dropped from here, and that's fine because we're getting ready to bring it right back up to the top. That's the reason why I didn't put that tomato paste in here just yet, and the reason why I used that instrument. I can't think of the name of it. Y'all know what it is. Put it in the description box. Tell me what it is. Tell me down there in the comments what it is called. I call it a parayer, but it's not. You can parade your stuff with it if you want to, but that's not where I was going at. I still have chunks, but they're not as big as it was. They were big old chunks. I like chunks, but I didn't want them that big because I'm getting ready to add some more stuff to it to make it even it out. Okay, so now that I got that good and stirred in really good, and it's the way I want it to be, still got some chunks, but it's not all the way just big chunks, but they got some nice chunks. Now I brought this stuff over, the other vegetables over from the stove. So this is what I was talking about. I'm gonna scoop some of this stuff out. I go right down in the center of it, y'all, right in the center. And I'm showing you that. Okay. Now I got my first half in there. I'm going to take my spoon. And now I'm going to work it in. Just like this. That way I know I'm getting it evenly incorporated in it. Okay? Into the tomatoes. And I'll bring you up close so that way you can see what I'm talking about. The mushrooms, everything is even. This is the first half of it. This is before the other seasoning. Okay? And you want it to be on low. Because you're really pretty much slow cooking your sauce. You don't want to cook it fast. You really want to cook it slow. This is how I make my spaghetti, y'all. I take a lot of time and pride in my spaghetti sauce. Okay? A lot of pride in it. And a lot of love. It's probably why a lot of people love it. Okay? But I love it. I love cooking and I love how it comes out. Okay, so this is the first half and I'm going to let you see it and then we're going to continue on so we can get through this canning. Okay, so here it is up close. You see how everything is kind of even and how everything looks. I wanted everything to be even. Okay. Okay, y'all, now it's time for the seasonings. So what I got here is some green garlic onions that I have made up as far as my own seasonings from the garden. I'm going to put some of this in here. And this is 2 tablespoons. It's going to make me sneeze. But it don't take much. This is all I'm going to put in here because it is very concentrated. Y'all already know. You know how garlic is. And that's the onion tops. Okay, on top of that, here is the onion powder that I made up the other day as well. And that's going to be also 2 tablespoons. You gotta remember it's a big pot. So we're going to get some good flavors and seasonings in here. And then last but not least, we got some oregano. And I'm also going to put just a little bit. I'm not going to put a lot of that in there. But I'm going to put it in there. It's not even 2 tablespoons. But I'm going to put that in there as well. Okay. And then, I said that was the last. But we're going to have to put a little bit of pepper. Just a little bit. Don't have to be a whole lot. Now, I told y'all in the beginning of this video, I do not put sugar in mine. I do not like all that sweetness. And plus, I am diabetic, so I don't need all that sweet. I like to have taste, but flavors. I love flavoring. Yes, flavoring. Yes. Okay, so now that we got that right in the middle, like always, right in the middle, we're going to go right down and we're going to mix this all in. Going up and down, back and forth, back and forth. I'll put that on in there. And then, after we get it all in here, I got my bottles. They're ready as far as they're in the dishwasher. They've been washed. They've been sanitized. All the above when it comes to canning. All of that is in there. Okay? And I'm going to be taking one jar at a time out. I'm going to be using quart jars. And I have, I think, a total of, I think it was 17 quart jars. I think, I'm not sure, I gotta count it again. But I think I took out 17 quart jars. Okay, and if that's not enough, I got pints. I got pint jars. So, and I probably won't do the pint jars on camera, but the next time I'm back on video, I'll show you those too. If I ended up having to use some quart jars as well. Now that that is good and mixed in there, really good. It's thick, it smells good, and you already know what I'm getting ready to do. I'm going to taste it. Gotta taste it to see if you're missing anything or you need to add some more. Hey y'all. Just like I said, it's perfect. It is perfect. Okay, so like I said, I got my jars sanitized and washed. I got my water bather. It's over there. That's warm or hot. It's not boiling, but it's hot. I also got another pot over there, as you can see, and it's got my lids on there in the water as well. And everything has been ready, sanitized and ready. And yeah, we're getting ready to start this canning up. I got everything over here to my right, ready to go. And I'm gonna take one jar out at a time and get it canned up. And then before I do get it canned up, I'm gonna tell you something. And that is this. When you're dealing with tomatoes, low acidity foods, and you're water bathing, you're gonna have to put you some lemon juice in it. You gotta bring the acidity up so that way it can preserve your food and kill the bacteria that causes botulism, all that stuff. You need to have this stuff. You have to use this. You have to use this when you're doing with low acidity foods. That when you're water bathing, this calls for lemon juice. So with this lemon juice, I'm going to be putting 2 tablespoons of lemon juice in each quart jar. 2 tablespoons, y'all. That's what it's required. 2 tablespoons. So I'll be showing you when I do this, because that's going to be the next step after I finish wrapping my mouth. And that's what I'm done. I'm done wrapping my mouth. So I'm getting ready to show you the next step. Okay, so for 1,000 feet or less, my altitude is 432. So that's 1,000 or less for the altitude. And I will be using quart-sized jars for this spaghetti sauce. And it will be a 45-minute water bath timer for this procedure here. Okay, and the area that I'm in, again, I'm in Tennessee. My altitude is 432. The requirements is 1,000 or less, and I have to water bath a quart. For my quarts, it's going to be 45 minutes. Okay? And if you don't know where yours is at, where your altitude is before you start canning, you can go online and go on Google and type up the altitude for your area. It will tell you that, and then it'll tell you what you need to water bath your time on where you're at, okay? So this is where I'm at. This is what I have to water bath mine for 45 minutes for quart jars for the altitude that I'm in Tennessee, 432 in the area that I'm at, okay? Hey y'all, so I got my lemon juice, got my ladler, got everything ready, everything sanitized. I took 2 jars out because I'm gonna do 2 jars at a time. I'm gonna show you this and then I'm gonna put you on speed dial. So we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of lemon juice to each quart. So we can bring up the acidity to this spaghetti sauce. Okay? And we're gonna do that for each, what did I do with my top? I have no clue. But we're gonna do this to each one of these jars, okay? So now let's get started, y'all. I'm excited. Okay, let's see how many we can get. And you're gonna leave a 1/2 inch space, head space from the top. I'm already making a mess, y'all. Okay, let me do the next one. Make sure y'all have y'all's vinegar ready to wipe your lids, because that's what we're gonna have to do, is wipe the top part of our rims so that way we can have everything kind of sticking to each other. You know what I'm saying? So if that makes any sense. I'm getting ready to have me a stock of stuff. Yes. Okay, so now that I got my lids over here and everything, put this on something. So I won't be making a mess over here. Set that right there. With my fingers. Get another paper towel. A napkin, dip it in some vinegar. We're gonna wipe these rims. That's what we're gonna do, y'all. And also, you want to make sure you don't have no nicks and stuff on your jars. You don't want none of that on there. You want it to be crack free, and you don't want nothing to prevent it from sticking on here. So we got that. Now we're gonna get our lids. This water hot, y'all. So these jars are kind of warm too. Okay. And you're not gonna screw these on real tight. You're gonna do them finger tight. Finger tight. Jars are kind of warm. And I'm going to stick this right over here on my tray. Hey y'all, so now that I got 7 quarts, I got 7 quarts inside the bath container. That's how many that it holds for mine. Um, so when that water starts to boil, which is getting hot, well, it's already hot, but when it reaches its boiling point, I'm gonna set the clock for 45 minutes and let it do its thing, and I'll be back to show you what it looks like in its jars. And I'm also going to have enough to do pint size as well. And so I'm so excited about that. So I was able to get some quarts in, and I still got some quarts off in here, and I think I'm going to be able to do some pints as well too. I want to do some small ones as well. So either that or wait till the next time, because I want to do those quarts. I really want to do as many quarts as I can. Hey y'all, so I was able to get 6 quarts and 6 pints. I am so proud, so pleased that I was able to do that and still had a lot of sauce left. Still got a lot of sauce left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to purchase some more jars. Yes, now that's what I will be purchasing instead of food. I will be purchasing jars for canning. Yes. So I'll be getting some more jars so I can get some more quarts in and some more pints in. So I was all together, I was able to get a total of 12 jars, 6 quarts, 6 pints. And here it is, y'all. I am so pleased. Look at this. What I didn't have is what I have now. I am so, so happy. So happy. Thank you for coming to L&L Honeycomb Homestead. Thank you for showing the love, and I hope this can give you a lot of enjoyment to do for yourself. It's really easy. Just follow the instructions in your ball book if you want to do it like that, or you can have your own recipe, but stay with those instructions and you can't go wrong. But do your recipe the way you want to and how you want to. And thank you again for coming to L&L Honeycomb Homestead. Y'all have a wonderful day. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.